Okay. Can you give us your name first, please?
Helen Macaulay Sadler,
Thank you, Helen. And how old are you?
40.
40. So, the aim of this interview is just for you to tell everybody about your ordeal, what happened to you. So we want to get straight to the point. So if you can just go straight into what you were doing that day, like maybe just before, and tell people what happened.
So it was in April 2001. I was with my brother, my son, his friend and his friend's girlfriend.
How old was your brother at the time?
15.
15, and how old was your son?
3.
3. Okay.
My brother and I have always been very close, and we all decided, it was Bank Holiday Monday, that we would go to, it was like a temporary fairground in Ennis and Harrod Park.
Okay.
It's not there all the time, it was there for the Easter Bank Holiday.
I see. Yeah.
So we went along there, went in, we were in the fairground,
Okay.
and there were 2 girls being very rowdy. They were swearing, they kept asking, we were on the waltzes and they kept shouting, can you put this song on? I can't remember. Blow My Whistle, Bitch,
Okay.
that one. And the people would say, the workers say, no, there's kids. They were effing and blinding. So I asked them to mind their language in front of my son, to which the one slapped me.
Okay, so she slapped you across the face?
She slapped me
just
across the
aggressively?
face, yeah. So I said, right, to my brother, come on, we need to leave. And I left.
Okay.
However, as we were walking out of the park, people come running up to me saying, they're following you. They're coming after you, they're coming to get you. So I said to my brother, look, I've already left once.
Okay.
You need to take my son away. Just take him away. If they're coming after me, just take him away. I was concerned for my son.
Of course, yeah.
So the girls came, and it's a bit blurry for me, but obviously the people I've gone with have told me. And one of them shouted at me, I bet you fuck your son.
She said this, one of the girls?
Yes, shouted that at me.
Okay.
At which point I lost my temper as well. We became in a brawl.
Okay.
And I remember saying to one girl, stop, somebody's bleeding. She
Okay.
knew it was me bleeding, obviously. And I'm trying to say, stop. So I had the 2 of them, only the one had the knife. My brother then came running back and got the girl off me, who had the knife. And I've only recently found out, because he wouldn't speak about it, that he actually caught her arm as she was aiming for my heart. And he twisted her arm, getting the knife out of her hand. However, then he's shouting, because there was security there, then he was shouting, look, is anyone going to help me here? So his friend then came running back, he done CPR on me. Well, not CPR, but stop the...
Start giving you first aid?
Yeah.
Stop the bleed, control the bleed, yeah.
Yeah, and all I remember, and I remember it being in the papers, was I was lying there saying, just get my son and get my brother. I want to say goodbye. So, and I just kept repeating, I could barely speak. I was whispering, get my son, get my brother. I just want to say goodbye. Anyhow, I can't remember getting in the ambulance. I remember being in the ambulance, because I remember a police officer saying to the paramedic, what's her chances? To which point the paramedic said, I really don't know.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, just get me to that hospital.
Yeah.
However, I got to the hospital, rushed through. It's really blurry after that. I remember them cutting my clothes off, that's it.
Quickly. Okay. What time was it? What time of the day?
Oh, it was broad daylight.
So afternoon?
Afternoonish time, yeah.
2 or 3 o'clock?
Yeah, broad daylight.
When you said that it took place and you felt like you were in a brawl, you could feel the hit?
No, I couldn't feel it at all. No, I just saw blood, and I sort of remember like a shine, and I think that's from that cut there.
Okay.
But when I said stop, somebody's bleeding, she obviously knew it was me.
Yeah. How many times were you stabbed?
7.
Can you show me where?
So it's been reconstructed now, but twice in the throat, once here, twice in the back.
Okay, so she was aiming for your face, yeah?
Well, my brother said he stopped her right by my heart.
Okay.
I don't think she wanted me to come out of it.
Yeah. Okay. So, at the time of it, can you remember where people were shouting for help? Will anybody come to your assistance?
Yes, people from the fairgrounds ended up
So
coming.
people come to help you? Was there people stood around watching it? Can you remember?
There were people stood around, yes.
So stood around watching and...
Well, yeah, my
and
brother
just carry-
shouted at the security men, you know, are you going to help me here? As he had a hand in his hand. Now,
Yeah.
I can't remember that, that's what he has told me. There was a guy, he worked for the fairground, I don't know what he'd done, because I was quite annoyed. In the papers it said that he saved my life, basically. He was the one that done the first aid. Yes, he helped, but it was my brother's friend that done it.
Right.
A 15-year-old, and he wasn't named in the papers.
Okay. So, okay, just a few more questions. After you started to, get on the mend, you started to repair, how did it affect you, because you're alive, thank God, but how did it affect you psychologically, mentally? How did it affect you in your mind?
Psychologically, I'm really strong-minded, and they took. In a way, I'm glad it happened to me, because it was going to happen to somebody that day. They were out with intention.
Yeah.
I'm glad it happened to me, not my brother or my son.
Of course.
It's a difficult question because I don't like. It was the way it affected my brother that hurt me more.
Yeah.
I think with me, it was more of the. When I speak, I got a croaky voice because I got a paralysed vocal cord from it. So that affects me because I don't like my voice now.
So it's a reminder.
Yeah. So it's little things like that. I wouldn't have photos taken for that within that year because of all my scars.
Yeah.
I was very, very lucky that at the time I worked in the dental hospital.
Okay.
So I worked at Maxfax, and if it wasn't working there, I wouldn't have had the reconstruction I've had.
Wow.
So I was very lucky in that way.
So one of the questions was to the private medical treatment, if you received any, and if not, how were you mended? Was it just stitches and off you go, or what?
Yes, it was just stitches and in for a few days, off I go. However, when I went back to work, a really, really good, I don't know if I can name him, but consultant,
Okay.
Mr. Fardy.
Yeah.
He's one of the best Maxfax around. He called me into his room and said, look, how are you? I could barely speak, I was whispering. He
Yeah.
said, you should have been taken down to theatre and your throat checked, because I didn't go to the Heath. I said, okay. He said, are you happy to see somebody I know over in the Heath? I said, yes.
Like a specialist, yeah?
A specialist, yeah, ENT. So I saw Mr. Quine, who then, I was his patient for years.
Wow.
I had speech therapy. He done a few operations on me. He put a silicone implant in my vocal cord because, like I'm croaky now, I sounded like a heavy
was
smoker.
awesome. Yeah.
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 So for years I had operations. Scar vision on my face,
Yeah,
because
I can see.
I was a 21-year-old girl.
Yeah, so you're a young girl, I remember you
Yeah.
because we worked together for some years. Okay, an important question, and they're two important questions. How's your brother? How is he now?
My brother now is good. We've always been close and we always will be. I feel he may not like me putting this out on video because he's a male, but I think he really suffered psychologically with it.
Yeah.
It affected him to the point where we only discussed the whole situation a few weeks ago after the interview
Wow.
with Sky. Up at that point I didn't know he'd stopped this girl aiming for my heart.
Wow.
I didn't know this. And I remember his wife saying to me, because we went to Thailand for the wedding, they got married in Thailand, and I remember something was said, and she said, he will not speak about it. What actually happened? And I told her, because it was a
Wouldn't
taboo
talk about it.
subject, couldn't say a word, didn't like fairgrounds, anything. But now he's of the mind where he wants to help people.
Good. Yeah, good.
And he wants to get the story out there just as much as me now.
Good. That's good. Did you have any mental health assistance? So when I say mental health, I mean like a counsellor?
No, I had nothing.
You was offered counselling, or
No, I wasn't offered anything.
did you feel you needed it?
No, I didn't, because they'd already brought me down. You know, they'd already affected my health. I was not going to let them affect my mental health either.
Good. That's a strong answer. It's a real answer, actually. The next important question was, does your son remember what happened?
Can I just get back, mentioning my son, skip back to that last question. I suppose it does affect me, because my 14-year-old now, I can't let him out. I'm so scared that something's going to happen to him. He's a good boy,
Yeah.
you know, but the other day there was a party in the school, he wanted to go, I couldn't pick him up because my partner was working, so I had to get a taxi home for him. His mates are walking home, I wouldn't let him walk home. So that, you know, it does affect me mentally that way.
Yeah.
Going back to your question, my son was 3. All he remembers, because my brother had taken him away,
Yeah.
all he remembers is seeing police with a knife. And he used to say, the police hurt you, mummy. No, they didn't hurt me. Yeah, they're bad, they hurt you. So it took years until he was grown up, you know, to realise that the police didn't actually hurt me, they were helping me, they took the knife away.
Yeah.
But that was, you know, that's what he saw.
That was his memory.
That was, yeah.
Okay. Sorry. The girls. You said there was 2 girls.
Mhm.
That's the...
One can't be named because she was 17 at the time. The other one is, she was 19 or 20. Her name's Ria Michelle Evans from Rydfelin. She did go, Ria went to prison for 9 months, got released early on tag. I had parole officers or something like that come to my house, asked my view on it. And I said I don't want her to be released on tag early. However, I did ask to visit her, which they thought was a strange request. They said, why do you want to visit her? I said, I live in the same area. If I see her in the street, what's going to happen? I said, she's just gone to prison.
Yeah.
I said, if I see in a controlled environment, I can ask her why.
You can speak to her.
And ask her why.
And why she did it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, just a few more questions. I'll come back to that one because there's something really important that I want to ask. What made you decide to start to speak about it?
I think it's all the work you're doing, really, James. You know.
Really?
Yeah, I think when Leanne approached me,
Yeah.
I just think that she was right. You know, we need to raise awareness. Look
Yeah,
at
of
all
course.
everything that's happening at the moment. There's so many stabbings, and I think it's because people like me, you know, have kept quiet.
Kept quiet.
Everyone's saying it's a new thing. It's not a new thing.
No, it's not. It's not. No, you're absolutely right. The knife bins. What do you think about the knife bins? We do some things with the knife bins, but it's literally just probably 0.5% of what we do.
Well, I think, yeah, okay, great for people, you know, but
Yeah.
well, was Ria going to put a knife in the bin?
Well,
No.
we would maybe hope for that, but yeah.
You know, I don't think if somebody's going out with intent, they're not going to use the bins.
Yeah,
So I think it's a short solution, but it's not the solution.
yeah, of course. Okay, so just a little bit about self-defense, because we've spoken privately about what we do with Kala. And how do you feel? Would you feel there would be a benefit with regards to people attending self-defense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Although, well, yeah, you know, especially young kids. I know I would sleep better
Especially
if my
what
son.
you said with
Yeah.
your son being 14.
Yeah,
and
I
afraid
would
for him to
sleep
go out.
better if my 14-year-old son was
He knew a little
doing Kala.
something.
And
Yeah.
I've tried to get him to, but he won't.
That's understandable.
Mm.
I understand the situation and the memory, and it would probably shock him because our system, as you know, is the most real system in the world. So, and the reason why I ask you, not only is it one of the questions that I wanted to ask, but the reason why I wanted to ask you again about it was because you said your brother came back to the scene
Mm.
and stopped the girl from stabbing you in the heart. Yes.
He got the knife out of her hand.
And got the knife out of her. So he not only controlled the situation, okay, by controlling the arm, and that's one of the first things we teach the kids and the people who come to us. We teach them to obviously be submissive, but it's part of the defense. And when you have an opportunity to control the arm, your brother seen his opportunity, he controlled the woman's arm, or should I say girl at the time, and if it wasn't for that control, perhaps maybe you would have had a fatal shot to your heart from the knife, and maybe we wouldn't have been having this conversation. So hence the reason why we strongly believe about teaching somebody self-defense, even if it is something very small. Okay, I don't think there's any more questions on there. The last one, actually, because I think you've answered them all in your own way. For the people out there who've shared similar situations, myself as well, I've been stabbed, so I understand, and mine was many years ago, 15, 16 years ago as well. Have you got any advice that you firstly want to share with them?
What can you advise them? Because they don't know they're going to be stabbed.
No, you're right.
It's only afterwards that
You realise.
You realise, and I've said to Leanne, I'd like to help victims that it's happened to.
Yeah.
I don't see how I can give anyone advice because you just don't know.
Yeah.
It can, this was a 20-year-old girl, 19, 20-year-old girl,
Yeah.
against a mother and a child. How
In
can
broad
you know?
daylight, yeah.
Broad
Yeah.
daylight.
You'll never know, and that's something we try to understand, is the surprise attack.
Yeah.
It was just a surprise. Yours was just a simple request, can you not do this? My child is here, and then boom, before you knew it, within a few minutes you were being attacked. Yes.
The police officer that was assigned to me for a few months, because I didn't have to go to court, and this is why I think she didn't have a strong sentence, because I didn't get my point across. Anyway,
Okay.
He said to me, if it wasn't you, it was going to be somebody that day.
Right. A question has just popped into my head, because obviously what your boy said about the police. Can you remember, and I know it's going to be difficult because there's a lot of blur at the time. Can you remember how long it took the police to get there?
No, I can't.
So no report, no, nothing.
No, it's been my brother. I don't even know what they got charged with, James.
Well.
Don't even know what they got charged with. I did go to the last hearing, the sentencing.
Yeah.
I was just, sat in the crowd, didn't have to go, went with a friend, and I didn't know at the time I could have stood up, but her defence was saying that I was only stabbed, I think, 5 times. There was no laceration to the face. Well, I'm there, with, yeah.
As clear as day.
There was no one there to argue that. And this is what I mean. I never had my chance to get her over in court because I wasn't required to attend. And I think she had a lenient sentence.
Yeah, it was it
crazy.
It's not punishment.
No, and
That's
this is
not punishment.
why it's happening all the time.
Yeah, it is.
There's not there's not harsh enough penalties. She should. I think she got about 4 months.
4 months for
4
almost
months.
killing you.
For almost killing me. She was less than a centimetre away from my lung.
Now I'm no expert on the law. People ask me about the law all the time. I know little bits, but I don't know really compared. I don't know much. And what I will say is that's part of the problem, like you just said, because of the sentence. So they don't believe and this is no example to anybody. You have just been stabbed 7 times towards your neck, so a vital area towards your face. So really, I would imagine, is it attempted murder? She's gone equipped. Maybe she didn't purposely do it, but she's gone equipped. So was it attempted manslaughter?
Well,
I don't know what it's called.
This is the point. She said to police the reason she had the knife is because she had an abusive ex. So she had that in her pocket to use on somebody, whether it be a, abusive ex.
Okay.
She had intent.
Yeah. Abusive ex and being out in the fairground, being aggressive behaviour doesn't really go together while you're wandering around. No,
apparently she's on drinking drugs as well.
So maybe she should be indoors, locked away, maybe safe, not wandering around the streets with a knife in her pocket.
Well,
Sounds like she was looking for the trouble to me.
Yeah, I agree, and I know she's got social media, and everybody's saying what a lovely person she is on this social media, and I just think it's crazy.
Yeah.
People do change, and I hope she has. I hope she has changed, but why?
Yeah.
Why wake up and think I'm going to take a knife from my pocket and go out?
Yeah. Last two things. There's a lot of things that you can do to actually help.
Mm.
And we've talked behind the scenes about you helping us with the program because you're a victim. And we're going to have, as part of the program, we're going to have people coming to us after self-defense stage, after wounded stage, like your stage, where you have survived, and where they will come to us, like on stage 3, where it's time for, you know, counselling and assistance. And I think you would be able to help massively there.
Mm.
So, yeah, but we will keep that, you know, that focus for 2020. My last question is basically, would you sit and speak to the person, to both of them if possible, or even just to just one of them, the one who was sentenced, about
Yes, I
what happened?
would. I did request that before. You know, I know she's got a son now. Does her son know about it? Because my sons are aware of it.
Of course, yeah.
You know, it's not her son's fault. I'm not saying that at all.
Yeah.
But I would like to know if she's changed, if she's sorry, or would she do it again?
Yeah.
And why? The big question is why?
Why? Yeah, I think that's
Why
the question.
wake up, take a knife in your pocket?
Yeah.
Why use it?
Yeah,
She hit me, I left. Why follow me?
yeah. That's it. So you moved away from the threat.
Exactly. So
you were
why?
no danger to them. So, which is another thing about self-defense. If you can get away from the threat, good. But for the person to follow you, then there's like intent.
But I didn't know she had even, you know, it was happening.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for today.
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, just keep up the good work, James.
You too. Thank you, Helen. Thanks very much.